Let's go. Let's go. We the people. I love this shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Getting what he deserves. Nice middle finger salutes. Now, let's get right into it. This is episode 605, Sold Not For Sale podcast. We got Joe Rogan, Brian Simpson, and they're talking about Trump. What's going to happen if Trump wins? Have you thought about that? I don't want to get too much into the clip. I'm going to let them speak a little bit. But that's what I want to explore. Because Brian Simpson brings up some great points about why he doesn't think Trump is going to go to prison. You know? But then when you think about what Trump's actually trying to do, it makes you think, what is going to happen if he wins? You know, he's already exposed so much of the swamp, the deep state, the government, the they. He's already exposed so much. How much more are they willing to expose themselves? It makes you wonder. Before I bring you all that, though, I got to bring you to the store. This is IamCoachColin.com. You can get your shirts, your hoodies, your tank tops, your mugs right here with the greatest anti-establishment brand in the world. This is the Pure Blood t-shirt, certified Pure Blood. This is the certificate of achievement for anyone who survived the pandemic unscathed and untainted. Remain pure blood, always. This is the Public Enemy #1 shirt. Google the World Economic Forum. Please, if you don't know what that is, please Google the World Economic Forum and its founders. Go down the rabbit hole and understand quickly why this gentleman is Public Enemy #1. And the one that started it all, Sold Not For Sale. A bold statement that I like to make every single day, which is why I call this podcast the Sold Not For Sale podcast. If you want 10% off of anything you just saw, all you got to do is put in the discount code I am Coach Colin. That is all capital letters. That is all one word. There's no spaces. I am Coach Colin. It's all one word together. No spaces. One L in the name Colin. And that gets you 10% off. And if you've done that with us already, thank you so much. You are much appreciated. More than I can even explain. Let's get into this first clip.
They're caught up in a game. It's like rooting for the Dolphins. You're caught up in this fucking thing. Like, we're playing Pittsburgh. Fuck Pittsburgh.
Right.
You know, it's just people just get wrapped up in this idea that if somehow or another Biden stays in office, everything's going to be great. If Trump gets in office, the world's going to end.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Like Trump.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, bro, you know what's so funny is almost nothing will change no matter who it is.
Some things will change.
Like, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, surface level things will change, but like the main agenda, the real powers that be, they ain't letting this shit. You know, they let little stuff change so you feel like you have power.
Right.
But the main agenda, that shit ain't shifting.
But what's interesting is if we're gonna find out how much power they really have to like decide who becomes president, because if Trump wins, like, what do they do? What do they do then?
Let him be president from prison? I don't know.
Do you think he has a real shot at going to prison?
No. Listen, I think it's cute.
It's cute.
But look, man, again, money talk, bullshit walk.
Yeah.
When has a billionaire ever gone to prison for any reason other than fucking with other rich people's money? That's the only time you see people that rich go to prison. There's no other time. There's no so it's like this hope that he's gonna be the first one. I highly doubt it. I could be wrong, but generally people that are his rich, they don't go to prison.
We were just talking about that the other day. Like, they didn't even put the Sackler family in jail.
Right? When do you? Because they was fucking with poor people. They put
fucking with everybody.
They put Bernie Madoff in jail. They put Elizabeth Holmes in jail. They put the Enron dudes, they put them down because they was fucking with other rich people. But as long as you stick to fucking with poor people or trying to cheat, whatever, you ain't going to prison. You're not. I don't think so. If Trump actually goes to prison, that will mark some kind of progress, I suppose. You know, but at the end of the day, they all
progress,
look out for each other.
But not really, because if you could target your political enemies and have them locked up to prevent them from being able to run against you, that's some banana republic shit.
But
that's where it gets dangerous, because they could use it on the other people too.
Exactly. The smart people know that. The real smart people know that what you're actually doing is setting a precedent.
Yes.
And you don't And it's real fine when it's happening to the person you want it to happen to.
Exactly.
But what happens when the other side has that power?
Exactly.
It's just gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, that's also why they've never really locked each other up. Why they always pardon one another and all that, because they know whatever precedent they set, it could happen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pardon thing's wild.
I wouldn't even be shocked. Actually, I don't think Biden can pardon Trump because it's not a federal thing. I think it's a state. It's a state thing. Mm-hmm. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if the governor of Georgia pardons Trump.
Interesting.
Just to prevent a constitutional crisis, because there's nothing in the Constitution that tells us what to do if a former president goes to prison.
Didn't we just talk about that? Someone, no. I think the governor of Georgia doesn't have the power to pardon him.
No?
I'm thinking they don't. I think someone just told me this.
Okay, let me see.
I think it's one of those
Georgia is
weird
one of the
cases.
4 states whose governor does not have the authority to grant clemency, although the governor retains indirect influence by virtue of his power to appoint board members. That's what this says when looking up pardons.
Oh, that's even better.
That's crazy.
So then he could have the board do it and not take a political hit.
Yeah, it says
I think
Georgia's
it's even
governor,
more
Brian
likely.
Kemp, does not have the authority to hand out pardons.
So who can hand out pardons?
A 5-person state board.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's what this
Interesting.
looks like.
Oh, this is spicy.
Interesting.
As long as Fanny's not on that board, I think that has a chance. But I don't think he's going to go to prison. I mean, what Brian Simpson said makes a lot of sense. You see that. When have you seen a really rich person going to jail because they messed around with poor people? Because they were sticking it to poor people, screwing over poor people, taking money from poor people. You never see that, or else all the government would be in jail. All of them would be in jail. You never see that. But here's the thing. What happens when you're someone who's trying to help poor people? You're someone that's trying to stop the decay of a country. And the powers that be have already deemed it that this country needs to decay. Agenda 2030 is very clear. The U.S. will not be a superpower, and there will be multiple superpowers. Instead of just one, there will be multiple. And we're already seeing that go into action abroad as China and India and all these different places start aligning with themselves. They're pulling away from the dollar, at least attempting to. We're seeing that happen right now. That's the plan from the outside. The plan from the inside is that this place has to decay. It has to, for them to have their plan work properly. What happens when you're the guy that's standing in front of that? When you're the person stopping that? When you're the person yelling from the mountaintops that these people are, in Trump's words, he's calling them Marxists. He's calling them communists. He's calling them, rightly so, by the way, rightly so. I mean, if you take a look at anything that goes along with the socialist or communist doctrine, take a look at what they do, how nations are as they're coming into power, you'll see a lot of similarities. A lot. Talk to a person from Cuba about what's going on in the past 5 years, and they'll be like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just how it starts. So what happens when you're that guy? I think it goes back to Tucker Carlson. I made a video. It's called Tucker Carlson's Dark Prediction. It goes towards assassination. That's what you would think. But then again, exactly what I said at the beginning of this, how much are they willing to expose themselves? Because if that happens, there's no amount of magic bullets and crazy person that they're going to be able to put in front of this whole thing. They're just not, they're not going to be able to pull it off. You're not going to be able to say, oh, it's just some crazy, oh man, wild person. I don't know. He's just by himself. How'd that happen? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If anybody remembers how Trump rolled in to Atlanta, come on. Who's getting past that? No crazy person's getting past that. It'd have to be something organized. So how much are they willing to expose themselves? It seems like they're willing to do anything. They're willing to gather up every single minority. And when I say they, I mean the Democrats. I mean the left. It's what they do. It's what the plus means. You ever wonder what the plus means? The plus means anybody and everybody. Anybody who feels small. Anybody who feels resentful Anybody. Any small group. Come. They're all the plus. So, how much are they willing to expose themselves? I don't know. I really don't know. And I've said it before. I think if they do take that dark step, and it'll be a very dark day for the world, to have something like that happen. Not just to have a candidate pass away, but a great man. Be a very, very dark day for the world. I don't know. I don't know if they're willing to do that. Seems like they're willing to do anything, honestly. I keep making my screen small and big here, but what do you think in the comments? What do you think? What do you think they're willing to do? Because Brian Simpson's right. He's not going to go to jail. He didn't do anything that's messing around with rich people's money directly. I mean, maybe throwing some wrenches in the whole political thing and how it works, maybe that indirectly impacted some people's money. But I think, again, if you look at Trump, he did some things where you would look at it and go, oh man, why is he doing that? Why is he appointing this person, that person? Like he appointed Larry Fink. Larry Fink was part of his administration, right? CEO of BlackRock. Why would he do that? That's terrible. And I agree. I think that's terrible. But at the same time, when you do something like that, those same rich people that we're talking about, they're okay with that. They're like, okay, he's not messing with us. He's not messing with us. It's okay. You know, those deep state people, he was messing around with those guys heavily. He's really going at those guys, and still to this day he's going at those guys. But if you're not messing around with rich people's money, you're not going to go to jail. You're messing around with the deep state, you might get taken out. But are they willing to show themselves to that extent? Because once they do that, all hope is gone. Nobody believes in the system anymore. It's done. Where does it go from there? You know what I mean? And then who's in power? And then who's accepting whoever ends up in power or remains in power? Who's accepting that? I don't know many. I don't know many that would. I mean, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of people who love Sleepy Joe. You know, if you're a fan of naps, you're a fan of Sleepy Joe. You know, you know what I mean? If you like a good Sunday afternoon nap out of nowhere after you trip and fall down the stairs, you're a big fan of Sleepy Joe. Oh, so dumb. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think about that? If you haven't liked the video already, like the video. It's down there. Do the right thing. Like it. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Why haven't you done that? And turn on the notification bell, because believe me, we're making 1 to 3 videos a day and it gets hard to keep up otherwise. All right? Otherwise, I'm out.